Hey guys, it's Bailey. Welcome back to the channel and thank you so much for tuning in to what's going to be another full face wear test using some new products. Less new to me, more just new to the channel. I've actually already filmed this before but had some major sound issues that I tried to work through. It just was not happening. So this isn't going to be a first impressions, but it will be a wear test, and it might almost be even better because I've used these for a couple times now in different environments to give you an idea of how it wears, but you still get the progressive check-ins throughout the day. If you're into these videos, I've already filmed a few, so definitely stay tuned to watch this one, but if you want to see more, click that eye up there and I'll list them there, or you can also go into the description box below and click the links there if you want to watch as well. Let's go ahead and get started. First, as always, or most of the time, let's start with foundation. This is from another one, actually, from IDUN Minerals. It's the North Skin Pure Mineral Illuminating Foundation, and I tried this not just out of curiosity, but I applied to get it through Octoly because I recently reviewed here it is, the powder foundation from the brand, again, in another one of these full day wear tests, and was really impressed with it. So a couple of you guys, it piqued my curiosity personally, but then a lot of you guys also asked for me to try specifically the liquid foundation. So here we are today. So to apply that, I'm using a big fluffy kabuki brush. This is from BECCA Cosmetics, and it's the Heavenly Luxe foundation brush, I want to say. When I first applied this, I used a Morphe M439. Similar density, but these bristles, there's something about these bristles that they aren't as soft. Maybe it's the cut at the bottom to them, but I got a ton of streaks with this guy. This for me is more of a powder foundation brush. I use this, by the way, because I bought the Jaclyn Hill kit, like set that she'd done for Morphe. I really don't have much experience with Morphe brushes, so thought that would be a good way to get exposure to a lot of different kinds. This is what I used right off the bat, and I really wasn't impressed, and I didn't know if it was from the foundation or the brush. Turns out it's just not a good brush for this particular foundation. It's better for powder. If you use something more like the Cosmetics brush, it just goes on super quickly and flawlessly, no streaks or brush marks noticeable at all. This is definitely a light to medium coverage foundation with a glowy finish. You can still see that there's discoloration in my under eye area and that I have a little spot here on my forehead that it doesn't completely conceal with the redness. You definitely need a color corrector if you want to cancel that out. But overall, a very nice, healthy looking foundation if you just want to subtly even out the skin tone. The one thing that will be interesting to test today though is how it applies over texture. When I first tried this, I'm having some like dryness and breakouts over here on my cheek just because I have combo skin and been traveling a lot. So T-zone's oily as all get out, but right now I am currently struggling with a little bit of texture here on my cheek, so it'll be interesting to see how that wears. Oh, the other thing I want to mention about the foundation is it is slightly scented, but it's very light and fresh and kind of florally, like fresh laundry floral, but not as synthetic as like laundry, like the laundry scent that you might smell from a candle or a fragrance, things like that. Very fresh, but it is there in case you're sensitive to that. Moving on to concealer, this again is from IDUN Minerals and it's in this pen format and it's just called the concealer. Mine is in the shade Havre, I don't even know. I'm probably butchering that. I am so sorry. So this, after having worn it a few times, is very similar to something like YSL's Touche Éclat, if that's also how you pronounce that, where it's more of an illuminator and less of a concealer. I mean, look at how highlighted my under eyes are. I used way too much. It's a very thin formula, very buildable if you want to apply it over concealer, which I definitely recommend. I wanted to show it here not over concealer so you could see the kind of coverage you get from it and kind of prove out that it's more of a highlighting product. So you can see the overall effect is just a really natural but healthy, glowy or dewy finish to the face. But it's very thin and layerable and illuminating, and I'm definitely gonna need to set it. So I'm gonna go in with that foundation actually that I talked about before and just set that in my under eye area. And to do that, I'm gonna use the M510 brush, again from that kit. You can see that kind of takes down the shine when I do that. And I'm not setting my full face with this, like even my T-zone. I'm just applying it to where I put the concealer on those spots around my face just to make sure that this foundation, which I know has a pretty good lasting power, doesn't affect the lasting power of the liquid that I'm currently testing. I went ahead and filled in my brows, nothing new to use there, so I just used my brow powder from BECCA Cosmetics, and then I applied bronzer as well. Again, nothing new. This is the Butter Bronzer from Physicians Formula, but I did use a new to me-ish brush now at this point from Morphe. This is the R2, and I have really been liking this for bronzer. It fits a bronzer, if you will. It has this taper tip, right, so you kind of get a concentrated amount here, but then you can really go in with broad sweeping motions to help buff and blend that out, so you get more of a defined cheek, but you can also use it to really bronze up the perimeter of your face as well. overall pretty good. I'm gonna use the same product for both blush and highlighter. BECCA actually sent me the entire new collection they have coming out of the Light Chaser highlighters, as well as the lip toppers, which I'll talk about and use later in this video as well. But for that, I'm gonna use Amethyst Flashes Geode. In the pan, it looks more like a bolder lilac-y pink, but when you apply it, that pigment only comes through as you move and shift your face. When you're facing head on, you really can't tell you're wearing anything. It's not until you turn your head that that color really pops. I've really been loving it for a subtle but kind of unique and complex sort of blush, but I do want to do a separate video that goes through all of the shades in this collection and then talks about dupes as well, because there are some similarities that I've seen with some other products out there. So stay tuned for that. Moving right along to the eyes. Originally, when I first filmed this, I'd used the Saharan palette by Juvia's Place, my first Juvia's Place palette that I just couldn't resist. Finally, I saw the sale on Haute Look and I had to get this. I'm shocked I had the self-control to not buy all of them, but oh my god. After hearing the hype, seeing the swatches, seeing the tutorials, I just couldn't resist anymore. But I want to do a separate, it was a boring look because I do a more dramatic lip to kind of test the duochrome in the lip products I'm using. It was kind of a boring, like I was literally just using Katsina down here and then Zoya right here. Two shades, very boring. This deserves so much more than that. So I'm swapping this out in favor of one of the new palettes from e.l.f. This is the Aqua Beauty palette in Island Breeze. That is, for goodness sake, that is one. Then there's also the Cool Mist, which I also purchased, but this, while beautiful, not my wheelhouse quite like neutrals and golds and berries are. So this is what I'm gonna go in with today. The shadow texture here is super similar to ColourPop, where it's that hybrid gel mousse formula. I did do an ingredients check here, and it doesn't look like they're the same in any way to those you find in ColourPop, but just know the texture is almost identical. My gut says to go with a finger to apply these, and they do recommend that on the back of the box, but they also say that you can use a brush to glide it on as well. So because I want a crease shade here, I'm gonna start off with the brush first. This is the M441, and I'm taking that into the deeper chocolatey brown shade here. Pretty good, although not as deep as what you actually see in the pan. Also, just to see if these are as budge proof on me as ColourPop is, I'm not priming my eyes. Just realized it might help to be actually zoomed in for this part. So it's good, but I'm finding that I'm having to go back into the pan a lot to build up the pigmentation on the eye. And even after layering it up a few times, it's not quite matching the intensity of my eyes as it is in the pan. Moving on, I'm gonna go into this gorgeous cranberry that looks like it has some purple flecks in it. And I'm actually using the mirror that comes in this. It's pretty handy, relatively big, which is nice. Oh yeah, that's the kind of payoff you're looking for. Next up, to blend that into the inner corner, I'm gonna take a M506 and go into this light pink shade in the palette and apply that to my inner corner just to help blend that out. So far, I'm impressed with how these blend together, but I do have a little bit of a concern with how the berry's laying on my lids. I feel like I can see it already creasing. Yeah, see this, I feel like this is already creasing in the way it's blending here. Okay, maybe not all colors blend into each other as equally. Let's keep it simple and just go ahead and apply mascara. Lashes are locked and loaded. To do that, I use the Dior Show Pump and Volume Mascara. And now for the lips, I'm a little conflicted on which one to try. So in the first time I did this, I used these two. One has a peachy, very faint peachy base with a golden undertone, and the other has a very faint lilac base with a beautiful turquoisey green shift. None of those really go with this right now, and so I'm just weighing between these. Thinking it might be this guy, which for reference is Rose Quartz and Seashell. So for as beautiful as this might look far away, the way it's laying over, I should have taken the foundation off, like it was clinging to dry patches on my lips, and as a result, when the gloss went over, not so great. Ooh, but you can see how the glitter clings to dry patches when you take it off. Okay, this is just, my lips are so dry. That is what I'm forgetting from the first video. I actually have a lip balm that I meant to put on like right at the very beginning of all this. Please hold. This, beautiful people, is from Dior. It's the Lip Glow Color Reviver Balm. This I applied for from Octoly after I had tried the Givenchy Color Changing Black Lipstick. This I find is thicker and far more nourishing than the Givenchy was. That one was very thin, so it felt very much like a non-layer on the lips, like comfortable and everything, but didn't nourish nearly as much as this one does, which these dry lips desperately need. And you can see I have used, I've used a ton of it. It's already way down there. It's addicting. Now on to the gloss. Still, once again, using the same one I did before, and that applies so much better. All right, so now let's see how this wears throughout the day. I do, during one of my check-ins, want to apply a darker lip color so you can really see a strong shift in these, but also remember that I am gonna be doing a full separate review so you can see all of them and how they shift, like worn alone versus worn over something else. But just wanna give you a little sneak peek. I'm kind of concerned about these eyes. I think they might crease like crazy, so fingers crossed. We'll see. See you later. Hey everyone, it is check-in time. It's a hot one today. It's like 100 degrees outside, but I haven't been outside a whole lot, and maybe I need to zoom in so you can see this. This eyeshadow is not looking good. Is that how you? No, this is how you zoom in. Okay, let's get right up in here. It's a mess. Foundation looks great. Ooh, look at that blushy highlight. Great, great, great. Everything else is holding up fantastically, except for this. So that's kind of the update. Oh, also, I haven't reapplied or haven't done like the bold lip yet, so you can see the shift. Mostly because I've just been kind of reapplying the Dior to get my lips back into like less crusty health. But I will apply something a little bit deeper the next check-in. Let's maybe zoom out. I have you all up in my business. Maybe something like that. All right, here for the final check-in, about 9 hours into wear time. The eyes clearly did not hold up throughout the day. I think I'm gonna remove those because I know I said I was gonna do like a bolder lip during a check-in today, but since this is the final one, I think I'm just gonna remove it and then do the bold lip now, plus the duochrome lip topper over top. But before we do that, I do want to just address the rest of the face situation. Love the Dior. I mean, I knew this already. I've used so much of it because it's such a good lip nourisher, but I do want to say, after doing the video on the Givenchy black lipstick, a lot of you guys had asked about my experience with other color-changing lip products, so that is in part why I tried this. Absolutely love it, but to explore more, I bought a whole lot of other color-changing lipsticks, namely 4 from Lipstick Queen, since there's like frog prints. Well, I guess one of these isn't color-changing, but there's frog prints, there's sunshine, and then there's a blue one, Hello Sailor, in here as well. And then I also bought some much more inexpensive color-changing lipsticks off of Amazon. So a video on that will be coming later. But in terms of like products used in this video, really, really like the Dior, and honestly probably will repurchase not only as a lip nourisher and primer, but just as an overall color that gives a nice healthy flush to my lips. Really like it, unless something in here changes my mind drastically between now and then. So stay tuned for a video coming up on this. I'm still in the testing process, so just make sure you're subscribed to catch that video, which will hopefully be up shortly. On to the rest of the face. I have been pretty pleased with how this foundation's held up, not just today, but in general. I mean, you look at how the highlights lasted, the contour, it all withstands the test of time and honestly weather. It's been up to 99, maybe over 100 today in Dallas, and so it's been through the ringer. The concealer, not so much. I would, like I said at the beginning of this video, put on a more substantial concealer if you want more coverage, also a color corrector if you want more color cancellation, just because overall I feel like this is more of a highlighter than a concealer. The eyes, I think we've established, are in the current state a dud. I do want to try these with primer before I completely nix them all together. But let's go ahead and take those off and apply the bold lip. Alrighty, so I removed the eyes for the most part. Now I'm going to go in with a deep dark lipstick. This is from the brand House of Uni, or Uni, still not sure how to say it, but they make my absolute favorite liquid lipstick. This, however, this is not the shade. I love Rum Cake. This is in the shade Unruly Rave 2, a gorgeous deep dark purple. Purple is what it is. I'm gonna say purpley plum. It's really more of a true purple, and I'm just gonna apply that to my lips. All right, so this is on. Don't judge the application. It's very uneven. It's really just so you can see the shift here. Let's get to it. Again, this is the seashell, rose quartz and seashell combo we have going here. So you can see there that like on bare lips, it looks like a pale pink, kind of like a milky frosty gloss, but here you can really see that lilac shift. There it is on, really, really a gorgeous shade, and it shifts, you know, kind of like the blushes do. They're like multifaceted, they shift as you turn your head. Not an entirely new concept, but just wanted for you to see how it shifts on a darker lip product. Overall with the formula, I want to say it's very comfortable. It's not nourishing by any means. It's not long wearing by any means, but it's also a gloss where the main effect is that shift. Like I said, want to do a separate video so I can get into the different shifts that each each of the colors has, but in terms of reviews, it's pretty standard as far as glosses go. And if you're looking for a gloss with a shift, this is one to check out, but there are also a lot of other brands coming out with these lip toppers lately. So that is it from me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any questions on these products down in the comments below. And like I said early on in this video, if you like these videos in general, be sure and check out the others that I have up, either tap the eye or in the comments, or not comments, in the description bar below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye guys.